Hi, I am Boston Buckberger, and I'm doing a book review on the Voice Catchers. So, first of all, I thought this was a very, very intricate and cool book amongst any other books that I've read. And I think that after doing more research on the web of these voice assistants and these seductive assistants, I think that it was very cool to see what these have to offer and how they're being used presently and how they can be implemented, this kind of technology in the future. So I'll go over how I feel about these specific voice assistants, a company that I feel has a very big impact in this genre of technology. I will go over three things that I found interesting, and then I'll go over a bit about just like my use with this technology and these voice assistants, and then I'll conclude. So I feel like these are very technological and very futuristic devices, especially due to the fact that they can be implemented for such good reasons and can tell us so much every single day. I feel like although it's sketchy and it was talked about a lot in the book at the privacy issues that may arise, especially because companies are definitely finding loopholes to find our data and voice data and use that to make target markets to customers and consumers that have these certain speakers. It's pretty crazy that they can use the stuff that we are saying just in regular daily conversations in our room, in our living room, anywhere, to make suggestions and even make profile and product suggestions for people like day-to-day life. And so obviously privacy is questionable, but one big thing about these voice assistants is that they are very convenient. And this, just an example, is when I have my Amazon Alexa at home in the living room and our family is eating supper. We do not have to get up, go on our phones if we want to turn on some light music. Like, we love listening to country music. And one thing that's awesome is we just say, "Hey Alexa, turn on a country playlist." And it will turn on. You can tell it how much volume you want up, down. And I think that that's just a very good implementation of these products, and just goes to show that maybe the good outweighs the bad with the privacy issues, and the companies may be looking really deep into what we're actually saying to them. So Amazon uses these very wisely, and a big day that they use is Prime Day, which is a day that Amazon discounts a lot of their products, makes everything a little less, and especially even these, like an Amazon Alexa, it could be discounted and less on these certain days. What this does is it just expands the reach of these Amazon Alexas into many homes across the country of the United States and in Canada, where I'm from. My family has one. And I think that what this does is just creates a huge web for Amazon, so they not only sell more Alexas, but they can sell other products that people are liking in the current time. And this just makes their web major as a company. And I think that the one thing that they might have to do is look out for the competitors in the industry, like Google Assistant and Apple Siri. And even though Amazon Alexa is a mainstay, I feel like, in this industry, there's always competitors like Google and Apple who are innovating like crazy recently. Obviously, Apple and iPhones and such. But Amazon definitely has kind of like a lock on this industry, I feel like, from my perspective, in North America and what they've been doing with their technology and these devices. So three things I found interesting was the voice profiling that these voice assistants can do. And they can infer health, personality, emotions, socioeconomic status, if you might have a certain disease. I think this is really cool, especially the diseases part. Because say you have something like a little, maybe cancer even. If they could detect that from your voice, maybe they could make a little alert on your Amazon Alexa, or it could be like texted to you or something, and they could definitely figure out before doctors could, obviously, if they know you have a certain disease, which is really, really innovative and futuristic in terms of the medical world. Because imagine 10 years ago or 20 years ago, this wouldn't have been a thing, and you might catch a disease too late. Someone might end up dying soon. The future of these is definitely really crazy. I'm going to use Amazon again as a company that I really like to decipher, and it's the voice ads that could be a thing in the future. I know that they have a third party or something that they're not allowing third parties to put ads on their devices. So I feel like when this is allowed with these voice assistants, they're definitely going to dominate the ad industry and make plenty of money off of it. However, I feel like when I'm on YouTube and watching certain videos, I really don't like when a 5-second ad or 2 5-second ads or a 25-second ad comes up. I'm pretty much just going to look away and wait until the time's up and maybe talk to someone else, go get something from the fridge, get a glass of water or something just to pass the time away, because I don't really feel like watching the ads. Although some can be good in certain instances, when, especially if like I'm big into sports, if it's a sporting ad or something about a professional hockey league, then I'll be interested in it. But I feel like if it's not, I feel like I'll get very obstructed and just frustrated that it'll be saying ads, especially with there's no visual piece. I guess it'll be more like the radio and ads coming from there. But I feel like that's why we do have radios in cars and in different places, and we have TVs that show ads, we have phones that show ads. So I feel like this industry doesn't really need ads to be compounded onto it already, because I feel like it'll be negative for like these companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, for their voice assistants. I feel like they would definitely decline, and people may even start to not use their voice assistant because they get interrupted and feel that it's just really annoying having certain ads on these devices. Also, again, I feel like Amazon is my last interesting point, is that I feel like Amazon's expansion into other facets of not only these voice assistants, but using voice technology into cars, into home security, into microwaves. It's just crazy. Like, if you could tell your microwave, I cook my food for 60 seconds, or in cars, home security. It's just really crazy futuristic tech that I feel like our world is just ever so evolving to. And I think that with this, it's very obviously cool and futuristic, but on some traditional lifestyles and elderly that have kind of grown up without this, I feel like they wouldn't really have the time of day for it, or give it the time of day. So in conclusion, I really honestly like these voice assistants, and I think that for me, the good outweighs the bad in terms of conveniency, and for me, really big time. If I have one in my room, I definitely use it to ask, what's the weather going to be like in the morning tomorrow from 7 to 9 a.m. It'll tell me, and so I'll know what to wear to class the next day, instead of having to go on my phone, which maybe I left upstairs, waste a couple minutes of my day. And I just think that for the conveniency it gives to me, also like the example I mentioned, putting on music, I think that it just outweighs the bads, which is like the privacy, the loopholes from companies, and even the other things that come along with these voice assistants. One thing that I would like to change for these voice assistants is definitely when you're asking it a question, say you have music on it already, there's country music playing in my room, and I want to ask what the weather is in the morning. I'd love for it to just dim or lessen the volume of the music, and then answer the question with the music in the background. I feel like this would definitely give it more of a vibe and feel that it's just another person you are talking to in the background and asking questions, versus like pretty much an AI robot that's doing all this for you. Because by lessening the music, asking the question, it would just kind of make it more flowy and more definitely like fluent in terms of asking it questions and what it does for you. But overall, it's great technology. The Voice Catchers was a really cool book, and I think I liked the chapter, like the rise of seductive assistants, as it kind of just went in deep about how these work and what they can tell about you, especially with like the seductive assistant telling like a guy when he gets in the kitchen in the morning, he starts having a conversation, and it says and chimes in that it will take you 44 minutes to get to work this morning. I think that that's so cool, the fact that it can give you certain statistics and data that kind of aid into your individual lives. So I think that the Voice Catchers was awesome, and yeah, that's what I thought about it.